To reduce your sentence considerably.
And possibly play an important role in returning the human race to the surface of the earth.
It's nice looking at people who are lit by a nice, warm Colombian sun. In England, it's very cold at the moment. It's miserable. Who am I? I don't know who I am. I think Terry is much better. Mr. Gilliam is a very old man whose career is finished. We don't like him. Well, all of these happening in the same year looks like I'm finished. It's the kind of award you get when your career is over, when it's finished. So I'm not sure if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but a chance to talk to other countries, whether it's Bulgaria or Colombia, is wonderful. So I'm very happy to accept awards. The problem is there's a new generation that has lost its sense of humor. And that is very sad. Humor is probably the only way to make life bearable, I think. If you can't laugh at things, life is very absurd and people are often ridiculous. And people now are so frightened of saying anything that might be negative or offensive. And people are so easy to offend now. You know, this is crazy. I don't think that is a very healthy society when people are so nervous to make jokes about each other. That's what's wonderful about life. It was all pretty wonderful because a gang of 6 people with complete freedom to do what we found was funny and interesting. And that's a very rare thing in life. And it was great because we fought all the time. We were 6 very different people, and yet we all respected and appreciated each other's talents and sense of humor. So it was exciting. We were constantly alive, thinking and planning and working. It was great. Now they're terrible. They're all old and miserable. They're not funny anymore. I like skiing. I like, what I really like is building stone walls. I have a house in Italy and it's all stone and I'm always adding new things to it. And there's nothing more satisfying than taking and putting one stone on top of another and to know that it's not going to fall over. That's what's exciting. Probably I would have liked to have done more films. That's my real regret. Because each film I made took 3 or 4 years somehow. And with the case of Quixote, it took 30 years, and that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. So, but other than that, at least I don't feel ashamed about any of my films. So that's something. That's what I think is interesting, is that it still has meaning and reference to what we're doing now. I mean, several years ago, I was in America promoting one of my films, and I said I was going to sue George W. Bush and Dick Cheney for the illegal remake of Brazil. Is what it was. Because when I was making, I was very unhappy the way governments were dealing with their people, and the idea that there was terrorism, but governments were behaving so badly. And a lot of it has to do with what was going on in South America, in Argentina and in Chile. And then also what was going on in Germany and Italy. And so I have very strong feelings. But at the same time, I think, how do you deal with that? Well, our main character deals with it by avoiding responsibility and spending time in his dreams. And so we punish him for that irresponsible behavior. I only have this high energy when people are interviewing me. The rest of the time, I'm laying in bed, old, doing nothing, miserable. My wife says I do nothing in the house. I'm always complaining. But here, when we interview, I am so happy and full of energy. No, I find life amazing. I just find life is so extraordinary. I think that's our biggest problem. And we're busy destroying it. That's what makes me angry. That is the one thing that really makes me most angry, is our lack of respect for the natural world. We're spending all our energy trying to go to Mars. Let's save this planet. It's a very rare place, and we're lucky to be living in it. And I'm very unhappy that money is being spent on escaping Earth so we can go to a place where there's no water, where we might as well just go to Arizona instead. It's cheaper. Well, one day I'll come to Colombia, I hope.